Today I will be discussing the environmental and social impacts of coal seam gas mining in Australia. CSG has been extracted and used in Australia for nearly 30 years. It is only in recent times that the practice has come under public scrutiny. CSG is a contentious topic as proponents argue the vital need for this energy source, the potential for economic growth and the creation of jobs. On the other hand, opponents claim the implications of CSG activities are detrimental to the sustainability of our environment, harmful to the health of individuals, and threaten the livelihood of communities. According to the Australian Constitution, state governments hold the power to issue mining companies with a licence to access underground resources. Consequently, this leaves landowners with no rights to say yes or no to CSG activities being undertaken on their properties. As a result of this, landowners have been bullied, harassed and intimidated by CSG mining companies into signing land access agreements and compensation deals. The power imbalance evident between mining companies and landowners has caused many Australians to become apprehensive towards the government, who appear to be in full support of CSG developments, and it is clear that the law is strongly in favour of them too. Land is a key issue and one that strikes an emotional chord due to the central role it has to the livelihood of Australians in rural and remote areas. There are major concerns around the effects that CSG activities could have on agriculture and the value of land. Farmers especially, who live and work off their land, depend entirely on their land for financial security. Therefore, preserving the fiscal value and quality of their land is paramount. Farmers are also concerned with the potential effects of CSG on water. Prime agricultural land may be impacted by CSG developments, with concerns raised around the level of water consumption during drilling, chemical usage during the mining process, risk of spillage, contamination of groundwater reserves, and the disposal of flowback water. Farmers are directly impacted when surface water and soil has been damaged from chemicals and heavy metals, leading to unusable land and affected livestock. Bores that were once used by farmers as a source of fresh water now have methane gas bubbling up from them. You can see how the environmental impacts of CSG activities deeply concern our farmers who heavily rely on their land. In addition to these concerns, farmers with no rights have little to no control over what happens on their property, which only exacerbates the situation and contributes to the detriment of their health and mental well-being. There have been concerns raised regarding the potential risks that CSG activities can impose on human health. Community members living in close proximity to CSG mining sites have reported symptoms such as headaches, dizziness, nosebleeds, skin rashes, and sore, itchy eyes. As well as the physical health risks, mental health concerns arise from the stress of dealing with CSG activities in its entirety. Feelings of loss of control and powerlessness over loss of land or loss of land value, disruption to the community's social dynamics, concerns of health risks, water and agricultural issues, loss of Indigenous cultural heritage and sacred sites all contribute to the impairment of one's mental health. A study conducted in the Upper Hunter Valley found that CSG activities occurring in the community challenged people's sense of place and identity and affected the physical and mental well-being of local residents who felt powerless to the injustices they were experiencing. This disempowerment is problematic as feelings of loss of control, helplessness and hopelessness can lead to depression. Following the suicide death of Queensland farmer George Bender, it is clear that the effects of CSG activities can be totally debilitating for those affected by the process. The 68-year-old farmer, who carried his family legacy for more than 140 years, fought CSG companies for 10 years in an attempt to stop them from mining on his land. The Australian Petroleum Production and Exploration Association challenges the existing discourse by arguing that CSG development contributes substantially to Australia's prosperity through investment, direct and indirect job creation, regional development, export revenue, and energy security. The Australian gas industry is building almost $180 billion worth of projects across the country. Over the investment phase, the industry will create an estimate of 103,000 jobs across the Australian economy. The industry is forecasted to reach almost $13 billion in tax in 2020, which is seen as crucial in aiding the nation's economic well-being and alleviating some of the debt that the government is currently faced with, Queensland farmer Peter and his wife Nikki Thompson expressed their views on CSG as an opportunity rather than a threat. The Thompsons run a grazing and grain farm as well as hosting a gas field on their land. Mr. Thompson says Origin Energy pays the family $320,000 in compensation a year, which has allowed them to take on more workers and help pay off their existing debts. The Thompsons are aware of the environmental risks associated with CSG activities. However, independent tests are yet to show any signs of soil or water degradation on their property. Another point of view held by the gas industry claims that coal seam gas mining will produce significantly lower greenhouse gas emissions than coal, provide vast amounts of irrigation water, and provide clean energy for the rising economies of China, India, and Southeast Asia. In conclusion, I believe it is crucial that the government makes reforms to better support our Australian farmers in order to prevent tragic accidents such as the suicide of George Bender from occurring in the future. It is imperative that the government conducts a royal commission into the health impacts of CSG mining. Secondly, Australian landowners need to be given the legal right to say yes or no to CSG activities being undertaken on their land. By removing the legal entitlement that CSG companies have over landowners, it will ensure that mining corporations will deal in fair conduct and negotiate in good faith rather than gaining access through coercive and intimidating tactics. Please show your support by clicking on the link below and signing the petition addressed to the Council of Australian Government Energy Council to set the power imbalance straight and give our Australian farmers the legal right to say yes or no to coal seam gas on their land.